Peace. Good morning, family. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. I would just like to say good morning to you, and I thank you, and I appreciate you for being here. And for everybody that's watching on Facebook and YouTube, and we would like to welcome our Instagram family. Just added Instagram to the podcast. So now, for everybody that's watching on Instagram, I say I thank you because it's early in the morning. You can be anywhere right now, but you're right here with us here at Consistency is Currency. For everybody that's listening on the replay in the podcast space, you're listening to it on Amazon Music, which I added last week, on Amazon Music, on Anchor, on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean. So we're expanding the brand and putting ourselves in different distribution systems. Also LinkedIn family, we thank you and appreciate you for being here. And again, Instagram, thank you. We're going to be dropping jewels today, talking about massage your purpose. Now, today is going to be a little bit different. I can say this and I'm going to be transparent about it. I feel recharged. A lot of times for creatives, we pour out into a lot of other people and we rarely get poured back into. So how many of you can agree with that? Whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Instagram or you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, how many of you can attest to that? As a creative, you pour out into the community or you pour out into a lot of other people and individuals, but rarely do you get poured back into. But just because you don't get poured back into doesn't necessarily mean you stop pouring. But for yesterday, I got poured into. And so what we're going to do right now, you got the music that's playing. So for everybody that's watching on Instagram, you can't hear it right now. If you want to hear it, go ahead and go to Consistency is Currency on YouTube and you can hear it. So right now we kind of got the massage music. I'm gonna turn it up for y'all that's listening on YouTube and those that's listening on Facebook Live. I just want to take you into space because right now we're talking about massaging your purpose. So we got the massage music playing, and I just want you to think about something. Think about what you want to do. Think about what you have done and think about how you're going to get there. Think about what you want to do. Think about what you have already done and think about how you're going to get there. So if you're prepared to answer those questions, go ahead and put it inside the chat. Instagram, go ahead and put that inside the chat. Think about what you want to do. Think about how you're going to get there. And I want to make sure that you begin to massage those thoughts because remember, that's what we're talking about today, massaging your purpose. So I'm going to tell you where this came from. So I was listening to this podcast yesterday, and this cat named Mike Barron, he said, massage your purpose. And I just took a seat back and it just hit so hard, massage your purpose. And I've never heard someone put it that way, on massaging your purpose. So I began to think and conceptualize, like, what is massage your purpose? Because when you go to a masseuse, that masseuse is actually massaging you. But when it comes to massage your purpose, you're talking about ownership. That's the word your. The word your in there is giving it possession. That means you have to do it because it's your purpose. And because it's your purpose, that means you have things to do. And those things you have to do is about you. Because again, remember, as a creative, you do so much for everybody else. But when do you do for you? When do you do that thing that you need for yourself in order for you to grow yourself and expand yourself and to put your purpose in a purposeful place? That's a lot of P's. Put yourself in a purposeful place. All right. I like that. I probably should have wrote that down. But anyway, so we're about to go into the whole lesson plan thing, and I want you to tap into it. And again, those that's watching on Instagram, if you want to see exactly what we're talking about, go ahead and go to Consistency is Currency on YouTube, or you can go to Consistency is Currency on Facebook and also watch it live. So let's go ahead and tap into the lesson plan. What we're going to go into today, because Massage Your Purpose, it just came out so lovely and it came out so real. So for those who may be new to the platform, you have the inversion of red over white or white over red. The red over white or white over red is just meaning that focus on the words that are in red, or focus on the words that are in white. So the definition, let's go ahead and go with the definition of massage. Right? The definition of massage is manipulate figures to give a more acceptable result. Right? Manipulate figures to give a more acceptable result. And the inversion on this is white over red. So that is manipulate more acceptable results. Because it's yours, right? The results of your purpose or the results of your faith is shown by the fruit. But when it's even like planting something. If you plant a fruit, that doesn't mean that it's done. That means you still have to manipulate the growth process. You still have to water it. You still have to make sure it has sunshine. You still have to make sure that the ground is fertilized. So why, when you figure out what you want to do, or why when you create what you want to do, you think the job is done? You think that there is nothing else for you to do. Again, I'm saying this because I'm speaking to me too, right? Today, we're all going to be about the Me Too movement, because I'm speaking to me too, just as well as I'm speaking outwardly, just so you can hear it too. So the manipulation, more acceptable results. Like, how do you manipulate your results? So now let's talk about purpose. The definition of purpose, it says the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. Right? The reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. So what does that really mean for you? The inversion is red over white. It says in red, it says for which something exists. Like, why does it exist? It exists because you give it life. Right? The apple from the tree is the result of the apple seed being planted. You don't know what it is until the fruit shows on the tree. So therefore, again, for which something exists. So I was sitting there like, okay, why did you say the inversion on this on purpose is for which something exists? I'm going to show you why. So let's look at the definition of the word for. It hit me too. So the definition of the word for is used as a function word to indicate purpose. I never knew it. So as I began to define and to dig deep into the definitions of the words, that's when I began to learn and understand that the word for is a functioning word to indicate purpose. Like, what's your for? I mean, a lot of times we hear people ask us, what is our why? But I'm asking you right now, what is your for? What is that thing that indicates your purpose? What's your for? Because remember, purpose, it says the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. Why does this exist? And the inversion is, again, for which something exists. So now let's talk about massage, right? In the massage, they said the benefits of massage is to reducing stress or increasing relaxation, reducing pain and muscle soreness and tension, improving circulation, energy, and alertness. So, how does this play into your purpose? Don't you know when you understand your for or your purpose or what you're doing, it could reduce the stress. You're massaging it. Like, okay, you know what? You got this. Every time you tell yourself, you got this. All right, here we go. You're massaging it. I'm reducing the stress and I'm increasing my relaxation because I'm speaking to myself. I'm putting life back into myself. I'm allowing myself to understand what my for is because it is the indicator of my purpose. So I'm reducing my pain because I understand that if I continue to do this, it's not going to continue to work. So I'm going to keep bumping my head and I'm going to be sore and I'm going to reduce my pain now. So I'm going to tell myself that I have to manipulate my purpose to ensure that I'm not continuing to fall in the same obstacle that I fell in yesterday. So therefore, I'm going to massage my purpose. So let's begin the process of going into this deep dive because I think as we begin to learn that the massaging of a purpose has to be done on purpose. It has to be purposeful, right? Because the things that are not purposeful, you feel that it is not necessary for you to do. So when you're massaging your purpose, let's take this dive, right? So I want to ask an open question, right? So to massage your purpose is a frequency change. That's really what it is. It's a frequency change. It is looking at it for what it is, developing your for, developing your why, and understanding that if I am ever going to indicate the results, I must understand what my for is. So, can you change your frequency? Can you? That's an open question of changing the outcome. So, can you change your frequency? If you can, then say that. If you can, then do that. Because again, we're talking about massaging your purpose. So when you understand that you can change your frequency, you then go into, are you willing to change the outcome? Because if you're willing to change the outcome, you have to understand, like, what are you putting into it? Right? Because every outcome has an input. That means you're putting something into it. You're putting your purpose into it, your drive into it. You're putting your intellectual property into it. You're putting your time into it. But because you're putting something into it, are you willing to change the outcome by changing what you put into it? That's massaging your purpose. That's allowing you to understand what you're doing when you're doing it, allowing you to understand expanding past what you already know and not being afraid of what you need to know. Because can you change man, you have to look at it like this. Asking that internal question, can I change the results before the results ever manifest? Can I change my before the results manifest? That's a question that you're going to have to ask yourself. Again, let's put it into the form of a gardener. Can I change the results of the roses that bud before roses bud? Yes, you have to prune it, right? You have work to do before the harvest. You have to prune it. You have work to do before the rose actually become something that you want to hand to somebody else. You're not going to give somebody a rose stem with no rose, but you want to present them with the most beautifulest rose that has grown until its full term. So you still have to massage it. That is you changing the results before the results manifest. So massaging your purpose is grooming your process. Because as you begin to groom your process, you're learning along the way. You're learning that the things that you do has to be done, but I have to know what my purpose is and massage it to tell myself to keep going. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of times with some things that I just don't feel like doing. And I know it's not just me, it's you too. But because we know the things that we have to do, or we talk ourselves into, that's like us massaging our purpose. That's us putting ourselves in a place that we want to be and that we want to go because we know the result that we want out of it. So we're understanding that, right? And because we're understanding that, we know that there is a gift that's attached to it. And because there is a gift that's attached to it, we must know that that gift is ours, that message is ours, the outcome is ours. And because the outcome ours, we have to ownership if we ever want it to actually work in our benefit. So what I want you to do is to understand that sometimes you're going to have to massage your purpose. It's not always going to be hard, just as well as not always going to be easy. But you have to be willing to work on it. You have to be take the energy that it needs in order for it to grow. You have to be willing to listen to you in the moments in order for you to learn that it's not about what you don't know. It's also about how long is it going to take you to learn what you need to know? How long is it going to take you to identify what you don't know? And then making it happen for you, making it happen for the purpose of the result. So massage your results, massage your purpose. Don't run away from it. Know what it is. Put yourself in a place to win. Even if your result is not as successful as you thought you were going to be, that doesn't mean that it's over. Go back, do an adjustment. Just like a masseuse, they massage the muscle groups because it feels like it's tight. It may feel like times is tight. It may feel like there's things that's just not working out, but massage it. And then as the kinks work out, as it becomes a lot more comfortable for you to learn, because you felt it was a learning curve. It wasn't really a learning curve. It was just something that you need to stick with. And as you stick with it, you learn more about yourself. And now you have another skill set that you can say, you know what? I know how to do this now. That's because you massage the purpose. I have an intent and I have my purpose and I'm going to do this. And when I do this, I have the ability to create either more income or I have the ability to learn and teach somebody else. But it would have never happened if you did not massage the purpose. All right, that's enough. Hey, man, y'all just be blessed. And remember, here at Consistency is Currency, the morning podcast of choice. I definitely appreciate you and I thank you. As always, y'all be blessed. Peace.